So let me get back to sharing the screen here. All right, recording in progress. Share the screen. Yeah. Can you see my screen on Zoom? Doug? It's not sharing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's bring our center back here. I know that it's chicken day because you can smell the chicken. Yeah, thank you to our lunch sponsor. Everyone loves the chicken. You can smell it, I swear, a mile away when Doug starts driving here to the office. So glad that you guys chose to spend your Tuesday here with us at the team meeting. Let's start our meeting the best way possible. That's to fill some buckets for those shout outs. So who has any buckets they'd like to fill? People you'd like to fill? Things like that. Anyone? I've got a bunch. David.
Yeah, I would say everybody who participated in Red Day, and the vendors who helped support it. It was really good and a lot of fun.
Yeah, Red Day was awesome, you guys. Round of applause for everyone at Red Day. We had almost 50 of you at the garden. We're getting ready and put something special together to share with you guys some little videos. And shout out to you, Janet, too. For making that an awesome YouTube video. That was so fun. I watched the whole thing of it. But you guys, it was such a great day of communing. Who was all here at Red Day? Who was here at Red Day? Raise your hand. That's great. Who was it your first Red Day here in the room? I love that. Why don't we, Simonetta, what did you love about Red Day? Give what a memory or something that you loved about it your first time.
I just love the camaraderie and everybody was really positive and happy to be there instead of just okay, I have to be there. I felt that good. I felt the house of it. I don't know. Just the whole idea is great.
I love that. Who else? Stefan, maybe this is your first one. What did you take from it?
You know, Simonetta's word about the camaraderie was really nice. And just to actually do something physical that gives back, completely unrelated to me. Like I'm a giver, and I'm a real giver if it's something on the other end for me. Right? Well, but there was nothing on the other end. Well, the pizza was on the other end. It's just about, giving back and doing something I wouldn't otherwise do. I mean, I'm not a very, hands-on gardening kind of. I don't have any tools or any of that stuff, so kind of open it up a little bit too much. But
It did a good job over there.
And the wheelbarrow was fun, it was just all a great time.
Yeah. You said it when you asked me about Red Day, and I'm just gonna call you out for a second. And you said, whenever I see you talk about Red Day, your face just lights up. And that's how Red Day is supposed to make us feel, because we're doing something that's of service, that we choose to stop and to give back to those in the community. And meeting with you guys there, like I said, we had almost 50 people there. I think there were times we had actually a little more with our affiliate partners. So thank you guys for spending that day on Thursday. Thank you for investing in the Advil that I'm sure you consumed later on that day when you got home. But it's a beautiful day. Red Day can live on throughout the year. It doesn't just have to be one day a year. That thought process of giving back and being of service can live in us every single day. So don't forget some of those opportunities that you have, not only in your own personal lives, but also when you close transactions. Remember, there's transactional giving every time you close a transaction. You can make a small donation to a charity of your choice. It could be to KW Cares, whatever it is. It's really easy to put it under opportunity. So just think about that too, as you guys are going through and planning your year and you're closing your deals. Think about what it would be like to add that to your transaction and give $50, $100, $200 to your charity of choice.
One thing about Red Day is you've been there, then make some time, and it's already done so, to reflect on that day. because sometimes we have such unique experiences. And we just, rush into the next day, next week, next deal, or what have you, and we might see a picture later on, or what have you, but reflect, when you get a chance, once again, about that special day, us doing things together that otherwise we wouldn't, right? And I was most impressed, and on the site, in addition to that, shout out to you guys, our staff leadership team, ALC, for bringing this all together, Valerie. Because it takes a lot of resources and time and preparation, so thank you for that. I was most impressed by Richard Chan, I'm not sure if he's here. When he was feeling that, this is just running the back. He was stunned by like 2 or 3 bees. And he was still, going at it, so, see Richard.
Not allergic, thank
If you managed that, I don't know. So,
you. Thank you. You guys, one more big round of applause to everyone. For all your hard work. I want to do a special shout out. Jason Default was just named an influencer in real estate here in the globalist.com list for commercial agents. If you guys see him, give him a little shout out. If you'd like to see the whole article, you can go ahead and scan it there. But make sure you give him a high five on your way to go to the kitchen. They'll love it. I'm sure they're back there celebrating. So I'd love to bring up Grant. Grant, do you want to come on up here? The bringer of chicken, Grant. Come on up here, Grant. Thank you so much for our sponsor and delicious lunch. What do you have for us? If you just click on that button there, it'll go over on the one on the right.
Is there a laser on you?
No, well, there is, but it won't show up on the screen. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So hi, I'm Grant Schlindwein. I'm here representing GB Construction. It's my father's company, family owned and operated. We are all about craftsmanship. And I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what we do. Okay. Cabinetry, remodeling, bathrooms and kitchens, residential is our main thing. So just a quick question to start things off. Does everyone here know the difference between prefabricated cabinets and custom cabinets?
Yeah.
Can you raise your hand?
Yeah.
A few? Quite a few, okay. Anyone want to say one thing that makes them different?
Custom on site, built on site.
Not necessarily. Just custom cabinets in general. They're mainly fabricated by us. We buy the material, cut it up to size, build it. It's higher quality materials. Prefab, they come in a box. They're generally cheaper. They have pieces that you assemble and that's what you get. Not much customization, but we do both because different price points. Okay. So assembly, right? One of them, we're cutting up all the material, nailing it, screwing it, making sure everything's very solid on the custom cabinets. They're more customizable for the space. So you design the area, pick which cabinets you want, and it's a lot more customizable. And obviously the price is a lot different. A prefab cabinet is around $250 for a box you would buy from the company. So different price points. But what we do is we do things a little bit different with our prefab cabinets. Okay, so this is what I would consider just an average kitchen, not our work. But you can see that there's large gaps between all the doors. So not much design going on. Unused space, you can see on the side on the right of the microwave. There's a little bit of space on the side that's not being utilized. So that's another thing that we do is we utilize as much space as we can, given what you're going to keep in the cabinets, what you're going to keep in the drawers. So we maximize the space. So our prefab cabinets, this is an example of one prefab kitchen that we've done. And so you can see that the gaps are a lot tighter. We like to go for 8-inch gaps as much as we can. It's a lot cleaner look. We also pick out appliances. We install appliances. We like to do a lot of built-in stuff like this TV. We built in the TV so that there's minimal gaps on the sides. It looks like it's part of the wall. So and in that same vein, we also do entertainment centers a lot. for custom. But these are prefab. And these are just shaker doors, and you can see some nice hardware, low profile hardware. And we even built in this Sonos sound bar to fit in this little space. So we can do a lot of things that are creative. So modern custom look, tighter gaps. This is just a couple more of our prefab kitchens. We design our own range hoods a lot. So, you know, you buy the appliance, but we build it into our own range hoods. So we can do a lot of things. And, you know, this is not just everything that we do, but we do islands. We can make it have an inset look. And these are just our prefab cabinets too. So this is a example of our custom work. You know, it's a lot, you can already tell right off the bat, it's a more sleek look. And, you know, we have our countertop guys that do these nice kitchen countertops. And we do the backsplashes. So this was actually just a reface. Okay, so this is a custom reface where a reface is basically where you make the kitchen look new again by using panels, new doors, new hardware. This had new countertops too. So let's see what else. Okay, this is another one of our custom kitchens. And so this is our island that we built, the cabinets around the range. That's a range hood that we designed. It's actually drywall mud over, yeah, pretty cool, huh? So, yeah, and all the backsplash. We did a lot more work here than just the kitchen, and we do a lot more work than just the kitchen. We do flooring, pantries, islands. We install all of our own appliances to make sure that the reveal is good. You know, we don't have anyone else install our appliances because we like to build in refrigerators a lot. So you might not realize where the refrigerator is here in this picture. Right? It's actually on the far left here.
That's what I was gonna say, it's a left, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
So yeah, we like to make everything look very nice and
so cool.
seamless, and we'll also do the same things with our dishwashers. But we like to install all of our own appliances. We also do floating shelves and stuff. These are not floating, but you know, picture those without the stand underneath them. So yeah, we also do as much else as we can to revamp the space. So we'll do the moldings, the flooring, the paint, plumbing, electrical, drywall, tile. So windows and doors even. Yeah, we install a lot of vinyl flooring. And so yeah, that's just a little bit of what we do. And thank you guys for your time. This is my dad. He's the owner of the company. And that's me. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
yeah, if one of you guys didn't get a flyer, there's more over there. We got the business cards. We're still working on the Instagram, so that should come in time.
Great, well, thank you
Yes,
so very much.
yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Maybe dealing with this right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so without getting yourself or anyone else in trouble, what do you recommend for a kitchen remodel? Go with permits or try to go without permits? And I'm asking this again because a lot of conventional wisdom out there says as long as it's just interior, you don't need a permit. Do you have a good answer for City of Long Beach?
Oh, well, so it does depend on what you want to do, and not everything needs permits. A lot of people like to go with permits, and we do that too, but we've also done work that's not permitted. But I mean, as long as it's structurally safe, you know, the interior, the look of it, it doesn't really need to be, you know, we try to get away with stuff so that it doesn't take a whole long time to get permits and it doesn't cost extra money. So we do work very personally with our client, it's mostly whatever they're comfortable with, you know, given the time and the price and.
And then, so say you need to move a wall a little bit. Do you have?
I mean,
any
that would be
thoughts?
a problem.
Designers or engineers that you
Good
recommend if
question.
you need to go that direction.
So, well, basically, one thing I forgot to mention is my dad's been working in his company for 30 years plus. So he has a lot of information that I'm still learning too, even though I've been working with him for almost half my life. But what he kind of likes to do is over-engineer something so that you don't need engineers,
Okay.
you know, following codes, and as long as you over-engineer it, it should be okay, and you can get permits on it. And a lot of it is load-bearing walls especially need to be over-engineered. So, yeah, with an engineer, you can get like down to like, oh, the minimal material you need to make this structurally stable. But we can just spend a little more money and over-engineer it, and it'll be fine.
Good answer.
Did I miss a question?
Do you happen to have information to show for the people on Zoom?
Yeah, so Gina, good question. So what we'll do is Doug, we'll scan the flyer and send it to you guys on Zoom. How does that sound? That way you've got all that info.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect. Okay, we'll scan that over. Awesome. Any other questions? Otherwise, he's gonna hang out too. We'll move on. You guys, round of applause. Thank you. Very much. Great job.
Thank you, guys.
Great job. We've been having so many people come speak about houses. I feel like it's time for our remodel. Mike didn't hear me. Okay, so let's celebrate our closings that we've had for the week. You guys, great job. Julia, Donna Herman, the Mnuchin Group ×2, Jim Reyes, Live Distinctively, Team Tolbert, Jeff Loftus, and Keith Yoder. What does that equal? $4,929,213. Great job, you guys. Super solid. Let's take a look at our new listings. We have Tim Matchka has a listing 525 East Seaside Way, Unit 1508 in Long Beach. It's listed at $759,900, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Allison Van Wig has a listing 5127 Verdura Avenue, Lakewood, CA, $975,000, 4-bed, 3-bath. Which is another one on Faculty Avenue in Long Beach. It's listed at 1.25 and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We have our SoCal Warehouse team, Angel. Okay, yeah. So SoCal Warehouse, they have a new listing. It's 1525 West El Segundo Boulevard. It's an industrial building in Compton. So contact Rich and or Angel if you guys have any more questions or a potential buyer from that. Stell. Look at this pretty picture. Stella, you want to pitch your listing?
Sure. Kind of weird when they count those ones, same thing. Anyway, hi everyone. My name's Stella. Thank you for giving me a couple minutes. This listing, if you're familiar with the interlude, it's over on Park Atherton. We have that center for sale and for lease. If you want lease information, you have any tenants or somebody that wants to open a business, please let me know. I'll back. But the sale listing right now is at 10.2 million. That is a $500,000 reduction from when it was listed about 6 months ago. And I bring it up specifically because it's a short-term listing. We're taking it to a big conference this weekend, and he wants to get it sold. And he's retained us, as I said, on the lease side to get that last bit of market rent. Myself, Doug Shea, and Emma leased about 60% of the center. So he came back to us to get those market rents. Once we get the market rents, this thing appreciates for about $1 million more in value. See this in roughly 6 to 8 months if we can get the people in place. At $1 million more, and if we get the corporate tenants that we're targeting, it will be over $1 million in value at the same return. So it's a fantastic value right now. If you have any investors looking at it, it is financeable. It makes it about 50% down, and it is not a pipe dream. Great part of town, great demographics. Upstate Long Beach, Los Altos, Park Estates. What else can I say about it?
200,000 in buyer commission. Yeah, get to the commission part. That's there. Everyone's like,
Thing in the top, yeah. So we have 4 points on the deal, 2 points to the buy side commission. So you want to retire early for the year?
you will
So
jump in
so
one
I
year.
have,
Yeah.
I'm a resi agent. I don't do commercial. How should I approach people I know? Tell them about this.
Good question.
listing?
Great question. If it would depend if they're interested in investing, if they have any large sales, they sold a business, they're sitting on a bunch of money. If they want to park their money in something that is rent controlled, has built-in appreciation with the leases, and has a quick appreciation still, in the short term, this is a great place to keep your money for the next 3 to 5 years. Recession began.
You never know who's going to invest in something like this,
Um,
right? You never know.
yeah.
Stefan?
All
question,
leases are about
comment?
leases are all 3 to 5 years left, several options. There are 3 tenants that are month to month that we are trying to replace. They've got the lowest rents.
Got it. Question? comment?
That's about a $40,000 to $50,000 referral fee, right? So if you have a client.
Oh, yeah.
That you just want to hand over for 40 or 50,000, is that doable?
Sure.
Great point. Really good point. It's a good way to look at it. Thank you, Stell, and congrats. I know you're gonna get it sold, man. Congrats. Yeah, I'm telling you, I have a straight line these days, so we're on speed dial. All right, anyone else? Listing pitches, buyer needs, Janet. Then we'll go in the back.
Yeah, I have a condo coming up right at the end of the month or the beginning of next month, and it's 4th and Loma. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, very spacious. And has a huge balcony and two parking spots in the garage, electronic charger in the garage for the cars, and going in the market probably about 650 to 700,000. We're still differing on price, but yeah, and talk to me if you've got any buyers. Super nice area, and yeah, big space.
Did you say condo or single family?
It's a condo.
Yeah, what are the HOAs?
I don't know.
You're good.
It's pretty low.
Oh, good. Even with the charger, I love that. Congrats. Awesome, Janet. Carlos.
So, in about 3 weeks, we have a condo coming, open to the market. It's only 10 bedroom, 1 bath, very nice community. No car garage, carport, and 1 car slot. HOA is 500 per month. Yeah, over the next 2 weeks, we'll be doing some deep cleaning and something, preparing for state.
Awesome. Congrats, man. I love that. Who else? Someone else listening to you, Philly?
Buyer need. So I have some clients in escrow on their house, and they are looking to upgrade into a 3-2. We love historic Spanish, which I guess is my jam these days, so that's cool. There's not a ton of properties on the market that fit their criteria. They are well approved for up to 1.2. They like to not max out, and I just know that there's a beautiful 3-2 out there. It doesn't have to be flipped and perfect or anything. They just need at least like 16, 17, 1,800 square feet on a decent sized lot. Sounds great.
Yeah. Contact Kelly, right?
Kind of anywhere, kind of anywhere. So we seem to be missing the like $1,050,000 to 1,150. Like everything is either below that and not big enough for them, or it's over 1.2. So it's kind of anywhere in town, as long as it's, nice. Again, it doesn't have to be super turnkey. Just it can't need a lot of work. But they would love North Wrigley, they would love Cal Heights.
Like Long Beach, yeah.
Yeah, they're ideally looking for historic, but it doesn't have.
That's great. Good opportunity. Talk to Kelly and go door knocking. Help find her some inventory. I love that. Who else? Yes, Shannon, did you figure out the?
No, I have more.
Oh, okay. Good.
So, yeah, I have a buyer looking in Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, possibly Palos Verdes, for a 2-bedroom. It could even be 1 bathroom, but ideally 2, and up to 1.2. And she was looking for the right place. She just lost out on 1, and now she's a lot more motivated. And then I also, and this is like really a little different. I got an 80-year-old barber, and he's being kicked out of his space that's near Carroll Park. And he needs to find another space. So if you guys know of any Cheers for Leaves in kind of that area, that general area, you know, like ideally a Chair for Leaves in a salon or a barber shop, or else a small, like 600 square foot space in that area that he takes.
Well, good to know, good to think of. We'll keep our ears open. Anyone else? Stefan,
Just want to give a shout out to Matt and Will, who put a first buyer in the escrow.
Yeah.
We went through the processes and, you know, just did the things she was taught and instructed to do, and now her and Heidi are pushing it through the close. So
we knew it was only a matter of time. I love it. Congrats on happening.
What took it so long, Manny?
Oh, yeah, Rick.
Yes,
1143 Turbo Canyon, we still have 2 new build units there that are left, but the owner, the developer, agreed to increase the buyer side commission to 3%.
Oh.
So that'd be nice, so to 3%, and I have a buyer need 2 to 2.5 million. It's pretty urgent. They're moving back to London at the end of the month. So anywhere in Irvine or surrounding, they need to move into right away, otherwise they're going to be using Airbnb. So they want to definitely move into somewhere quickly.
Orange County? Yeah.
anybody else?
Take it away, money. Good
Good
stuff.
stuff. I'll go fast through the broker matrix because Simon, are you there? Simon has.
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
I'm here.
Thank you. He has some good stuff for us. We did it one of the offices yesterday. Because there's like dozens of revised forms, contracts, disclosures, etc., redlined, and we want to start to go over the main ones right between now and then. It's gonna all gonna launch next month. So it's coming down on us, upon us. So we're gonna do that. Who's busy? Raise your hand. Busy like doing real estate. Busy. Okay. Don't be shy. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay. Who want to get busier? Thank you. Some participation. So that is the busy ones, right? Or those who are working to get busier. What do you see out there? Kelly mentioned something great about the price range. So that's a good insight, right? So what else? What else do you see and feel out there? Long Beach or different areas you can mention. Go for it.
I see people are looking to sell if they have the right people.
You're talking about agents to principal
Agents
relationship?
to- Yeah.
Okay.
As far as like establishing a rapport with people that they can trust.
Yeah, and we're gonna see there's more inventory that is available. This as of April this year compared to last year, so can to concur stuff. Yeah, to confirm that.
So I don't know if it's just anecdotal with me, but I'm noticing what seems to be an increased interest in selling on the market. So bring me like buyers or sellers have an idea of what they want to get for their house, so they maybe feel overwhelmed by the idea of putting it on the market. And it's like, if you can just bring me a buyer who will pay what I want, then they're open to selling. So I'm about to close my second off-market deal in the last month and a half. And it's great for the buyers. So in both cases, well, in the first case in particular, the sellers got more than they thought that they would get, and the buyers paid less than they thought they would pay. Everybody was super happy, like super.
Well, when it appraised, was it like on the asking or below or above
It just came in at value.
value? Yeah, the reason I'm asking because there are some cases, good job, Frank. There are some cases where it's usually to the best interest of the consumer or the seller to put it on the MLS, right? Because they get the best exposure pretty much. So that's awesome. Yeah. And with all the commission changes, etc., I don't know how that's gonna look like as well. But bring me a buyer, but that's been around all the time.
Can I
Yeah.
follow that up, Manny, with the other one, a buyer, so I'm double ending both. So with the second one, the buyer reached out to me, and of course I always just figure it's junk mail, or spam or whatever. But a real buyer reached out to me and they're like, I'm interested in buying this place. And so I had to take a step back and explain everything about agency and having your own representation, but yes, I'm happy to do it. She's like, no, I'm totally fine with it. I wonder if the idea isn't already getting out there. This is something for everybody to be aware of, that you don't need a buyer's agent. I don't know, like with the pending, new laws and rules coming down from NAR. I mean, I've had a couple of potential sellers say, well, you know, like things are gonna change, so I'm not gonna have to pay a buyer's agent, which I know a lot of people are hearing that, but also it seems like buyers are just like, that's fine, I'll just use the listing agent.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that too. I mean, I'm hearing the same thing. But then what's that conversation look like? Because they still have to put it into the what? They have to pay you as a listing agent. That's why. Right,
So like the
it's
seller.
up to us to educate them, right?
Yeah, so like the seller on the second deal came back to me and asked me if I would reduce my commission, so I went from 5% to 4%.
So generous.
They asked. I wasn't going to say that. But I just think it's the idea that the idea is out there. And that enables conversations. Like this buyer didn't have any idea how everything works, so I had to take 20 minutes or so to kind of explain the whole thing. And I basically said, like, I can be your representative, I'm the other person's representative as well, but I can do it. I just think it's interesting because I almost had nobody reach out to me when I was listing agent before asking me to represent, unless it was like investment.
One comment before, first of all, the commercial agents laughing at us.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's all reverse. That's what they are for, like, from the very beginning, right? There's no buyer representation, buyer usually pay the commission, it's negotiable, that is on the MLS or COSO, etc. But it's a whole different, conversation. Think first of all, is the buyer agency, the buyer's agent, is she part of the buyer's package value proposition or the seller value proposition? I think that it depends how you promote it. We already see it. Like I get everyday calls from agents that, hey, I've seen this, I've seen that, I've seen this, I've seen that. The MLS is right now flooded with as long as we can do it, like a lower compensation to the buyer side. And we also see that those email e-blasts, etc. Hey, whatever listing, seller is offering 1% to the buyer's agent, right? So it comes down really to what's the purpose, what's the value of the buyer's agent, the buyer's agency to begin with. I don't think it's going anywhere. Stefan?
I was gonna say the answer to all your questions is money. No matter what the question is. How's the weather? Weather's beautiful. We live in Southern California. Very expensive, but it's worth it, right? The answer is always money. So when we're structuring the transaction, whether the 4% or 2% or 3% is coming from a combination, or whether it's coming from the seller or the buyer, we have to be in a position to put the deal together, A, to take care of our client and do our duty, B, to provide a living for ourselves and our families. So I think that there's going to be those buyers that are going to try to go directly to the seller and negotiate and are comfortable with the seller representative. Then there's going to be buyers that need our representation.
I want to see how it's reflecting days on market. That's what I think we really need to watch and trend that way. You're seeing less listing agents market sold in 5 days, right? Because it might be sitting on the market for 2, 3, 4 weeks. 5 weeks. So I'm curious to see how that reflects.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I mean, the fact is that the buyer no longer needs us to find the property.
Right.
They're going to find the property with or without us. And so are they going to contact the listing agent directly and start that transaction, or can we get in and help them understand? That's how you say it, educate them, help them understand that they need their representation. It behooves them to have representation. I like to use the idea of the appreciation. So your property is going to appreciate in Southern California by whatever number that is. And to spend 2% or 2.5% to secure that is worth it, because 3 years from now, it's gonna have appreciated 10%. So really, what does 2% mean?
That's not a good angle, yes, yeah.
Well, I mean, this doesn't affect us, but how does it affect the other states that don't allow the dual, agent? And so, will that happen in California if that go away?
Wishful thinking.
I
But
put it out there.
but we're just gonna see, like, I don't know the statistics, we're gonna try to get it maybe, but it's just a matter of like how many more lawsuits gonna, will statistically gonna take place with dual agents. That's, and by the way, when I say dual agency, I'm referring to the same agent, even though like two agents, the same brokerage is also dual agency, I'm talking about mostly like the same agent. But it's gonna be very hard to defer. We'll talk more about those things, okay? We're just over gonna, give you nuggets and food for thoughts, because we're gonna keep talking about that more and more. Really quickly, before Simon's, Long Beach market, 580 units sold. That's median price. All resi in Long Beach in April of last month compared to April of last year, 563. So almost about the same inventory. Where this is the active inventory, and the median went up by 6%. Whatever is active. Can you click on that? And escrow 185, 180, about the same inventory. 13% increase on the average price that went in escrow. And really, this is the bottom line, that 176 units sold last month compared to 153. So about 20 or so more, with the price point of pretty much breaking even, but only 0.5% lower of a price point. So now it's like 795 as of April. That's the median in Long Beach. As you can see by the indicator, Altos report very strong sellers market because there's low inventory. That's the only reason. The median average sales price right now in Long Beach, this is for single family homes only, it's 1.177 500. And for condos, it's kind of between sellers market, buyers market, but tends a bit more in the sellers market. Also, just because there's low inventory still, and it is median rent right now is 2,300 in Long Beach, with a median list price of $520,000. Seal Beach, 42, twice as much inventory sold in the Seal Beach area. But this is everything together. So not just single family. Usually we still have much. If you only do single family, it's like almost nothing. 42 units compared to 26, April of last year, and the sold 19. So it's about 400 and something % more inventory sold compared to April of last year. That's a big jump. And the median right now is just under 1.6 million, which is a significant drop in Seal Beach. So probably more of the lower end houses in Seal Beach, almost 3 million for the median sold price. It's a stronger sellers market right now. Again, lower inventory. 56 days. Actually 80 days, average days of market, 80 days. They're moving slower, almost 3 months. Condos, sellers market, Lakewood, 88, 76. So more inventory in Lakewood this April compared to last year is selling. This is really the sweet spot over there in Lakewood right now. So I always say, if the Long Beach area, if you want to focus on single family resi, this is the spot still. There's a lot of room over there to claim your fair share. Because if you see the sold, look at the percentage that's sold as of April. It's about 3.7, let's say 4%. That's a classic trend line, 4% appreciation in 12 months, right? So Lakewood is like sweet spot, 46, 47, pretty much the same inventory that sold the last year. And houses, look at the gauge over there, super strong sellers market in Lakewood. So again, sellers there are extremely motivated. They just need the right agent, right? So of course, if you have the buyers, it's just a matter of inventory. Okay, so you can scan this to get the reports, and subscribe, get those reports for free as well. And hopefully you have enough time. Well, you'll do fine, Simon, right?
Thank you, Benny, you guys.
Thanks, Manny. Yes, yes, yes. Good afternoon. I'm sorry I'm not there at Long Beach today. I got slammed this morning with back-to-back meetings, but hopefully I can concise everything within a few minutes. So yes, the new forms will be in effect come June 25th. Mark your calendar, folks. June 25th is the the new zip forms. Okay. Now, anything and everything that I speak as a disclaimer is subject to change, meaning that what we're talking about today may be totally different come in June. Okay. So this is the most current redlining of the residential listing agreement and many, many, many other forms as well. The buyer broker agreement, the purchase agreement, and all of the disclosures would be some modification as well. For today and for the sake of time, we're just going to dive deep real quick and kind of glaze through the listing agreement. What big changes do you see with the listing agreement? Anyone?
Well, that whole box in the front.
It kind of looks similar to the purchase agreement. Okay. So what they did was basically mirror what we currently have, which is the grid, right? What I like about the new listing agreement, it really is the transparency of all of the stuff that we're seeing with NAR right now in the settlement. So all of the states, including California, has modified of what the listing agreement and how compensation is going to be given to a listing agent and also a buyer agent. Now, one of the biggest is Section A, Section C, Section E. All right, so let's dive deep into it real quick. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole motions of the listing agreement. This is going to be about an hour and 30 minutes. So if you look, and I know it's a little difficult, but I would suggest that, take a photo and download the actual redlining of the information. 2A1 and A2 go into the listing beginning date and expiration date, which is pretty standard. The listing price, pretty standard, which is A2. And then section B goes into the specifics of what type of listing you have. Is it a manufactured home, probate, so on and so forth. Section C talks about, as a disclaimer that compensations are rated as not fixed, but is negotiated by the principal and the broker or the agent involved. Now, where it gets really exciting is the breakdown of C1 through C7. Okay, this is the breakdown of how compensations and fees are going to be earned. Now, I want to be crystal clear that what we currently have as a listing agreement, right? We usually put the total commission on the top, and then we would put the cooperating compensation, and then that would coincide with the MLS. But remember, moving forward come July, but it's subject to change. We're not going to have compensation or fees on the MLS any longer. So this is why we have this new form that will coincide with the understanding and obligation and representation from a seller and the agent. C1 goes into the total commission that you will get paid for, okay? This is not the total, but what you and the seller agree to get a commission. So if you look on, it says compensation to seller, broker only, seller side of the transaction. That's where you're going to put what you are going to get compensated. What is your commission? Is it 3%? Is it 2.5%? Okay, whatever it is. Do not, and I repeat, do not put in your mind that it's 5%, because Section 2 now goes into optional additional compensation. If any offer to buyer broker is paid through the seller, then Section C2 will apply. That's where you're going to put additional compensation that will pay the cooperating broker who brings a ready, willing, and able buyer. All right, so if you put 5 on the top with thinking it's a total commission plus you put 2.5% on C2, What you're telling the seller is that the seller is on the hook for a total of 7.5%. Okay, seller's not going to be too happy about that. So transparency and making sure that you're all on the same page, you got a breakdown of what that looks like. Section 3 goes into if there is a compensation paid to a unrepresented buyer, meaning if you leave that blank and you're hosting an open house and a buyer comes into your open house and that buyer does not have any type of representation by any agent and they want to submit an offer with you and you leave that section blank, you get the offer submitted to the seller, seller accepts the offer, you go into escrow, guess what? There is no commission to you. The only commission is what you earn on C1. So I want to be clear and concise in this approach. Fill in the blanks. So C3, you're going to put a commission there just in case you do represent a buyer as a dual agent. I hope that makes clear. Okay. If you leave it blank, what you're telling the seller, and if a seller is very sophisticated, they're going to put 2 and 2 together. Says, well, based on the listing agreement, it shows that anyone that's being unrepresented, I'm not responsible to pay a commission. And then the seller can hold that accountable to us that we're not going to get additional commission. So again, it's having the conversation, learning when you go on a listing appointment and breaking down all of the information on the listing agreement is vital and important. And again, it's full transparency that you're, giving the seller. All right, section C4 goes into basically if you combine both C1 and C2, then that would be the total commission that would be paid to the listing agent and to anyone that brings a buyer as well. Okay, so if the agreement between you and the seller is that they're going to compensate, another agent involved, then that's what that language on C5 talks about. Section C6 goes into the continuous of right to compensate for broker identified prospecting buyers. That section is similar to what we see currently with the listing agreement. After you either get the listing canceled or the listing expired, there's a provision that allows you after the fact, as long as you provide the seller with a provision list of buyers who have either submitted an offer, seen the property, inquired about the property, and you provide the list of names of those individuals, and those individuals come back and buy the property, then the seller would be responsible to pay you a commission. Okay. So if you leave it blank, then once the listing cancels or expires, that's it. You also have to, as part of the provision, include a list of every buyer who submitted offers or seen the property. So you have to keep very tight books of everything that you do regarding the listing. C7 goes into seller obligation to pay previous broker. Okay. So now there's a disclaimer. Let's say that the listing expires or cancels, and now you go in there and the sellers want to do business with you, give you the opportunity to list the property, and now you go into motions of marketing, right? Part of that segue of the listing agreement is if the seller says this to you, by the way, I want to let you know that I got from the previous agent a list of all these buyers. So if the seller gives you a list of all these buyers, those are the buyers that are excluded. If they come back and buy the home, right, then the seller is not obligated to pay you a commission, but the obligation to pay the previous agent that was the listing agent on the home. Okay, so that's the provision under C7. Section D5 goes into optional seller concessions. Here it is, folks. This is where the seller is authorizing you as the broker to put language on the MLS that says to the consumer or the agent, hey, the seller is willing to pay some type of concession right off the bat, right? Typically, we don't see that, but now full transparency as part of the conversation you're going to be having with the listing agent will entail this information up front. And this is again, how you articulate the conversation and navigate that approach once you're on a listing appointment. There you can put a percentage or a flat fee. Section E just basically goes into the items included or excluded, which is pretty standard of what we currently see with the current listing form. Lease, liens, smart features, so on and so forth. Second page goes into section F, 1 through F, basically the MLS and public marketing. So section F1 goes into property will be marketed in the following MLS. There is who is your primary, right? CRMLS is your primary. If you have Claw or any other MLS, then you would put who is going to be the primary where you're going to list the property in, right? And if you're going to put it in any other type of third party, then you can also put it as other. F2 goes into the coming soon status. Currently, right now, coming soon, listing agreement. You put it on the MLS. You have 21 days to put it on the MLS, or excuse me, 21 days to have it as a coming soon. And then after the 21 days, it becomes an active listing. So here now, again, going back to the full transparency, full disclosure, when you're having the conversation, seller does or seller does not authorize broker to market the property per the coming soon status on the MLS. Section F3, real quick, goes into the public marketing, the beginning date. So this is when it's full marketing, when you're going to expose it to everyone. If you're prospecting, door knocking, open houses, social media stuff, then that's the date that you're going to put. If the seller says, I don't want any of that, then you're instructed to include the seller excludes the listing from any type of marketing. You're going to utilize the form SELM. F4 goes into the placing the property listing on the MLS as part of the clear cooperation. Okay, so if it falls under that or it doesn't fall under that, you check it or leave it blank. Section F5 goes into features of the internet. Seller does authorize the MLS to make all listing information available to other internet sites, including such as, homes.com. We have that ability, or the agent has the ability. So that's what it's indicating. G 1 through 3 goes into broker and seller duties. Pretty self-explanatory. It goes into timelines of presentation of offers. It's giving you a specific time. Let's say the seller says, look, you go active and we have till Friday, May 18 as an example, that all offers will be presented to me. Beforehand, I don't want any offers to be presented. Let's get all of the offers in one day, and then we'll now go from there. That is now part of the segue when you're having conversations with a potential agent that is asking you, hey, how many offers do you have? When are you going to present offers? And are there going to be any counter offers, so on and so forth? That's going to be now the full disclaimer as part of your responsibility and part of this new listing agreement. G2 goes into supplement offer letters. Again, if the seller is okay receiving letters as part of the pre-qual, proof of funds offer itself, and certain disclosures, now the seller has the option to opt in or opt out if they want letters as part of that. If they say yes, then any letters that the buyer agent attaches is perfectly fine as an opportunity to know who the buyer is. G3 goes into all pre-inspections and reports. Part of the conversation now is Mr. and Mrs. Seller, before we actually go live on the market or on the MLS, is there any specific inspections you'd like to do ahead of time as part of it, which could be the pest, general inspection, anything to do with the homeowner's insurance, homeowners association, any documents on a condo, townhome, or anything that pertains to HOA. They can do a roof inspection, septic inspection, and there's also a time frame that the seller shall order of these inspection as part of the process. H1 goes into the seller's instruction, broker to take photos or marketing, or if it falls under the rules and regulations. And, you know, J is pretty self-explanatory, you know, if the seller is planning to use this as a contingent to find their replacement property, obviously we would use the form SPRP as one. And then if the seller is opting in or opting out to include a key, lockbox, or a sign, then if that's the case, they would check yes to it or uncheck it no to it, and additional terms. So with that, it goes into all of the verbiage. Now, the cool thing about all this is that it also has on the grid where you can identify all of the paragraphs. So if there's something that just doesn't make sense, look at the grid and then go to 12E as an example, and that's the paragraph of the listing agreement where now you can go through the motions of getting more understanding of how you're having the conversation with the seller. Again, I'm not going to go deep into it for the sake of time, but that's pretty much it on what the new listing agreement is looking. So a lot of stuff for sure.
Simon, thank you so much. I know we've got a lot of questions. Janet? Yeah.
I just want to know if you take a listing now and it's still on the market, do you need to change your listing at that date to the new paper?
Did you hear the question?
I couldn't
If
hear.
if you take a listing now, so I'm going on a listing appointment today, and it's not going on the market until after July, would I need to redo the forms when these come out?
That's a very good question. The answer is it really depends. I want to say it would be to your best interest. If the property is not actively on the market, then yes, I would say revise and utilize the new form. Now, if the property is now live on the market, business as usual, we go with the motion of what we currently have. And then once the deadline comes, then we have to still cooperate with the existing agreement that we currently have. But anything moving forward after the new forms get uploaded to zip forms, then my recommendation, use the most current stuff that we have.
Clear as mud. Thanks. Good question though, Janet. Anyone else? I know, Simon, you have several trainings that are coming up about this, so that way you guys can be empowered to really know all of the documents. Are you doing it this Friday, the training on this, or is it something else?
No, this Friday is not on the listing agreement. It's another form. And on top of my head, I don't recall which class I'm going to be conducting, but it's something that I'm going to be consistently reviewing, which is the listing agreement, the purchase agreement, and the buyer representation agreement. Those are the most vital, most used form, and those are the most changes on the new releases come June.
That's great. Thank you. So we're going to keep you guys all updated. You guys, round of applause for Simon. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you back in next week. So Sarah's still on her wedding honeymoon. I don't think she's back yet. So we'll go ahead and skip you. See, do you want to come up here? Do you want to come up? Yeah, just introduce yourself, just in case you guys have met him. No, you're good. Just introduce yourself.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Swan. I just joined Dr. Thompson's team. So I've been in the hospitality industry for 18 years, and I'm very excited about this new opportunity to join Dr. Thompson. And I think my goal is to bring top-notch service to you guys and assist in any way that I can. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well done. And thank you for all your help at Red Day. You were such a good help at Red Day. Alex, come give us good news.
That's right now.
Alice, you give us good news too. Alice and Alex.
We got some lower rates, I think, than last week. I'm sure but definitely lower than what they were when I was up here 2 weeks ago. The Fed chairman spoke right after my last meeting and gave some people some good feelings that, that, hey, there's still got a rate reduction on the table this year. So we did see probably about 0.25% lower, I would say, over the last 2 weeks. Across all the programs, which I want to go back to the October, November of last year to your buyers that closed. It's probably worth a call. I mean, rates were 7.5 in October, November of 23. So that's, you know, on a $700,000 loan, that's $600 a month.
That's a lot of money.
$500,000 loan, that's $350 a month. So that's real money, or, you know, if their house did appreciate a little bit, it's a reason to maybe wrap some credit card debt, which everyone is riddled with at the moment, into that, pay off those credit card debt and lock it in at, you know, 6.5% instead of 12 or 24. So worth a call for sure. Mike and I are really happy to help those clients. Would love to do a refi. These days, mostly everything is purchased for us. So,
It's a great way to add value as an agent too,
Totally.
because then they're not just seeing you being transactional.
we heard from our team that we're part
Yeah.
of at the office, right? Makes you look bigger.
Yeah.
So, we're
Great.
always available for a phone call on that front. And then, CPI, producer price index came out today, higher. CPI is due tomorrow. Expectations are probably it's gonna be higher. So I don't think that it's gonna see a crazy spike in rates tomorrow. If you've got any clients coming to escrow today, but they might wanna look into locking today to just save that rate. If you got anything that's just hitting going into escrow today, we will likely see rates higher tomorrow than today. Is my expectation. But yeah, CPI is tomorrow. Other than that, the economic forecast is pretty minor for the rest of the week. Any questions, anything that you got, I'm up front anytime you need. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Al. Thank you for your help on Red Day too. All right, I don't know why this isn't showing up, but we have our first step. It's kind of looks a little funky on the screen. I don't know what's going on. Bold is coming up, you guys. This is an opportunity for you to do not miss. Join this wonderful group of people. Even more importantly, when you commit to going to the full Bold and signing up and registering before May 24th, you guys are going to get a chance to win the AirPod Maxes. And let me tell you, spending $500 on headphones is not in my budget right now. You will love them and you will appreciate them. You'll see them all over the place. So pull the trigger before that date, because right now your chances are really good to get AirPod Maxes, right? Definitely better than playing the lottery. But we'd love to have a chance to get you guys there. I don't know if you saw, I did post some scholarship opportunities for $400. So that helps bring the cost down to only a couple $100. And again, you have the opportunity to get that reimbursed on your closings for the year prior. So if you're an agent sitting in this room and you closed a minimum of 4 deals a year, you're automatically going to get your money back, basically. So think about the math in that way, right? Real simple. So we'd love to help you get there. We have the date coming up soon. Right here after the meeting, our own Insta famous girl herself, Kelly, is going to be teaching us about how to go Instagram famous, right? We're talking about social media marketing tips and going viral, and how she went from like 0 views to how many hundreds of that. How many? What are you up to?
Well, views on the one video is 9 million.
9 million.
And I went from about 500 or 600 followers to 22,000.
22,000 overnight, and that is the little verified checkbox if you guys have it. That's not one that you buy. So anyways, Kelly's gonna be staying after here, you guys. It'll start in a couple minutes, so make sure you stick around. She's gonna share all of her tips. And I'm gonna lovingly share this because you said this when you said I'm not an Instagram influencer. And look, YouTube can be an influencer, right? Or YouTube can have a viral video, right? So make sure you stick around. Our own Stefan Carradine is gonna tackle the buyer's consultation for today's market. He's gonna be doing the whole consultation. So if you guys want to take a look at what it would look like to sit down with your clients and have a conversation about commission, who pays the money, where it comes from, all of those questions that were fearful to space head on, he's going to do that together. So thank you, Stefan. That's going to be May 21st. It's going to be awesome. I like the hand clap. They're already excited. That's going to be after the team meeting near the end of the month, this month on the 31st. Make sure you guys mark that on your calendar. So I have to say, special shout out to Coastal for this. I think we have the most registrants for the script off competition than any of the other offices competing. And I don't know if you know how competitive we are, but I already made that a competition. I was like, oh great, well we have the most, so y'all can go home. Right? So I just want to say congrats to everyone that's on that list. We're going to highlight you guys at this next team meeting. It's not too late to jump in. Remember, even a brand new agent can win this script off because we're literally handing you the dialogues to be able to have, right? So don't be scared, hop on in. They have a lot of support. We'd love to have you involved. I heard there's a trophy involved and it's going to be at Coastal this year, right? It's going to be at Coastal. So some other chances to brush up on that script and role play. Great group that happens before the team meeting, and Richard Chung has some opportunities that are on Zoom that you can join him and the rest of the Veritas group and practice what those conversations look like. Oops, it skipped like 3 slides. Hang on one second. Go back. So there we go. Okay. The professional development series, if you guys don't know and haven't signed up, I think that starts tomorrow. You've got a couple more on that certification in the South Bay office. The certified negotiation expert. That's something we all need to be a part of. So it's not too late. You can scan and go over to South Bay the next couple days. Then we have our last one here on June before the series wraps up and we'll start all over again. Reminder, our family kayaking is happening near the end of the month. It's going to be a great time. We'll have fun. There's probably champagne involved, lots of fun music and things. We'll ride on the kayak. So come join us, guys. That's Sunday the 26th. We're going to meet at 10 a.m. and the kayak's on the water just right there on the corner. We'll all go out for about an hour. So then we usually have lunch. Afterwards, Cloud CMA is a great tool and resource. If you're a newer agent, you may not know what it is and that it's a benefit that comes to you as being a CER and NAR member. Or you might be a seasoned agent going, am I really utilizing this best piece of technology? So join us after the team meeting on the 28th. It's in Zoom and in person with Rudy Rodriguez, the trainer from CRMLS. He's a great trainer. And let me tell you, being a seasoned agent, whenever I sit in that room, he always tells me 1 or 2 things I did not know. Even just the MLS class, he does. You know, just the way that you sort things. So please mark that on your calendars. It's a really great resource. We have our Monday morning leadership book club. The books did just come in on Monday. I know they just got them. So if you guys are a part of the book club, make sure you go over there and sign up. Or if you'd like to put your name on that list, we'd love to get you a book. And now that's actually it. Great. So I have one more favor to ask you guys. So Orion's school, Brandy's daughter's school, she just, what was it, the CIF championship? Something.
Softball team made CIF playoffs and I sponsored their team. So if you guys are interested in making a video with me out front, within 5 seconds.
We're gonna do it real quick right now, even better. Okay, so on the count of 3, all I want you guys to do is give a really big, enthusiastic, good luck, cheer kind of thing, and we're gonna send it to her too.
So you can say good
luck. Okay, ready? So on 3, we're all gonna yell good luck with the best energy we've got. Ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. Great. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. See when I love that. That's good energy. See the bye, Zoomies.